please go ahead.
As a freelancer, you're always there, and you don't have the working day structured like a boss teaching you when you have spare time, when you go to lunch and all these things. And so you really have, I think you today the people think they are not allowed to take their time. And I think that we have to learn again that that we are not the slaves of our work, and it seems that we are the slaves of our work. And so I can have my breaks and don't feel guilty about that.
Okay, welcome again, everybody, to the TecOne Stories. This is episode number 16 already, and today I have a very interesting guest. I'm also a freelancer and solopreneur, but in another way, also independent, but yeah, a little bit different. So, yeah, Junia Swan, she works and lives in Bolivia, coming from Europe. And yeah, please let us know your story, your insights. Let us know more about you. How did it start? Did you work online, independent, and what are you doing actually? Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm a novel writer, historical novel writer, and what am I doing? I'm writing. That's one of the things I really love to do. And yeah, as a writer, you normally are independent and you are kind of a freelancer, and you don't decide to be a freelancer, you just are one. Yeah, even if you have a publisher who publishes you, you have to motivate yourself. Writing is a really very hard process sometimes, because not every time you have all the ideas in your head you want to write about, and but you have to go forward, and there is a lot of work you don't like really to do. I mean, for example, editing is something what I don't like so much, but you really have to spend thousands of hours just by editing the books you write. And so you are your own boss, and yeah, that happens when you write.
Yeah, but that means that's very similar to other freelancers. You're independent, you do your work, but you also need the connections and the partnerships, like the editors, or maybe also book cover designer. So you work together. How do you find your partners, your cooperation partners who help you with the book design, with the graphic design, with the editing, and so on? So do you find them online, or do you find them in real life, or both?
I'm yeah, first of all, I like to self-publish, and that means that I have to do all the process by myself. And how do I find the people? Well, yeah, that's different. I mean, normally I know them personally, but no, sometimes. How did I find them? Some of them I just researched in the internet, and I asked them if they would edit, for example, my book. But I came to the point where I like to work with people I know personally. And for my last book that will be published in English within the next month, I found an editor through a friend, and she told me that she would do it, and so we started going. And yeah, and I do my covers by myself. So I know there are many people who say you have to do it with professional cover designer, but when I started publishing the books, I began to make the covers, and I do it by myself until now. And I hope I advanced my skills and they look better than in the beginning.
How important is connections on social media for you as a writer?
Well, I think that the people who how would I say? I think it's very important to have a group or a community that supports you. Because as a writer, you're always by your own. You're really kind of separate from the rest of the world, and that's also the thing. If you publish a book, that you can't watch the reader when he reads your book, so you never know what happens in the universe or when people read the book. So as an author, I really like if people tell me how it is, writing reviews about the book, getting in contact with me. And for selling, yes, it's very important to be seen, but I think it's very hard.
Yeah, that's very good. So yeah, you feel alone, but you need the connections. This is also what I always say in TecOne: independent but not alone. So you can resonate with that sentence, like other freelancers.
Yes, but I mean, I like being alone when I'm writing, because you need the time, you need the silence, you need to getting down and get into the story, and that's very hard if there are people around you all the time, and you can work in a flow. Yeah, so maybe it's a little bit different to people who really work the whole day in their company or in their freelance business, because I mean, I also worked in this kind of work too. I mean, I was in a working process, so I know I like to be with people. Yeah, so it's really important to be connected in some way. So yeah, and during the process, by publishing the book, of course, you need your proofreaders, you need the people with whom you can talk about the book, who would tell you what they think about it. Maybe you change something in the text. So yeah, you always need persons. They have a look from outside, because as a writer, you're there. You know the story and everything, but sometimes you can't describe what you really want to tell the people, or they don't understand, and that's often happening, or sometimes happening that people, or let it be like that. There was during the translation process into the English book right now, I found it very interesting because there were some translations that didn't catch the point, and I was talking with my editor for, I think, 3 or 4 times. We just tried to find out what this sentence really means in English. So that can happen in German too, because everybody has his own language and hears something or reads something else than I'm supposed to write. So yeah, a team is always important, I think.
So I guess you are writing since a very long time. How did the internet or the online world or today's social media world change the process of writing?
Well, I think, from my opinion, it takes my time from writing. So I'm not the social media guy, and that's really one thing I have to figure out for the future, to get the balance about how much time will I spend for doing social media, and what time or days do I spend for writing. And so yeah, I mean, it is important because I can see if I post something, there is a reactions in the sellings. Yeah, so yeah, it's important.
Yeah. So what advice can you give? I have freelancers in my audience who are also writers, copywriters. I have graphic designers, which are also creative people. So what kind of advice would you give my audience, like creative freelancers? How should they manage their day or their online, offline time? Is there something you have in mind as an advice for them?
Well, okay, I don't know if I can give you any advice, because yeah, I'm not the normal people on social media, I think. But for myself, for holding this process of being able to write, I have to have times to relax. And I have, for example, I have for me a rule. I mean, it's not the rule that I have the rule to switch off, to turn off my phone during the weekend or for one day on the weekend. Mostly it's a Sunday, and for going to church. And every day I try to start my day with time spending with God, reading the Bible, because that's the only thing. When I read the Bible, I feel that there is peace coming into my chaotic brain. And there are, yeah, I think it's a coming down for myself, reset kind. Looking up about things in a different perspective. And so for me, it's important to have this 1 hour in the morning for having this time. And I feel in the moment it's really hard for me to have this hour because there's so many things happening. And so I feel very stressed during the day. And yeah, so I have to tell myself, okay, you have to do less social media, be more in the moment, be more here, be more in the daily life and the things that happens, because they inspire, um, and they bring me into the mood that I can write and do the other things. I don't know if that was the question. If it
Yeah,
has-
this is very interesting, and it's not only you. I had some meetings in the last days also with other freelancers. They tell me they have even two phones, a work phone and a private phone, and they switch off the work phone because clients would call them during their leisure time or their spare time. And so yeah, I think that's a very good advice. So also other people have, and other freelancers have the same problem. So very good.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, please go
because
ahead. Yeah.
as a freelancer, you're always there, and you don't have the working day structured like a boss teaching you when you have spare time, when you go to lunch, and all these things. And so you really have, I think, you today the people think they are not allowed to take their time. And I think that we have to learn again that we have that. I mean, that we are not the slaves of our work, and it seems that we are the slaves of our work. And so um, I can have my breaks and don't feel guilty about that, And so I think this breaks you should take. I mean, there was a person who told me that he is driven by the work, and I don't want to be driven by the work. I want to be, uh, I want to react out of inner peace, and not of hurry or these things. And when I talk to people, I want to be there, and I don't want to watch the smartphone. So I think it's just to get the time and be in the moment wherever you are. And then there are times maybe where you are in the internet, you're in social media, and you're there, but then you stop and you go back. I mean, I'm a mother, and yeah, it's hard for me sometimes to get out of the the realm of the internet and be there as with all of my heart and my mind and my concentration also.
Yeah. So we talked about freelancing, digital world, digital world and work. Typically in the TecOne podcast, we also speak about coaching and training. I know that there are writers who go to writing schools. Maybe there's also coaching. So how is it in your field? Have you ever experienced coaching, or have you ever coached or mentored other people? What is your experience with that field?
Well, okay, I didn't study to write. I didn't attend a course of creative writing. I have to tell that. I was just writing, and yeah, I mean, I think there are different kinds of how to look at coaching in the writing process. There, I have a friend, she studied literature, and she told me that she knows so many things about how to write correctly that she feels that she can't write because she's so scared of writing wrong, you know. And I heard the same about painting pictures. If you study arts, there are people who say, oh, I can paint a picture, I can only talk about it. Um, so I don't think that it's obligatory to in kinds of arts to have this university background. Okay, but what I found out is I also published books during no through publishers, and I worked with editors. Of course, I also worked with editors before, but these were the professional editors. And every time you get you work with another editor, you learn something new, and that helps me, of course. And I hope it makes me better and it makes my writing better. So um, yeah, I think we never should stop on a special step or place and say, okay, I know everything and I'm ready now. So yeah, I think I can always learn something from other people, especially from people who really are into the texts of my books. They really are diving in and try to understand and yeah, spending time with it, you know, then it's really helpful for me.
That means a good advisor or a good coach really needs to dive in, right? So this is what I talked a lot with people in the last time. It's not about doing it only on the surface. As a coach, you really need to resonate with your coachee and really dive in. That your editor is some kind of coach for you. So, but it need to be a good editor, right? Who really tries to understand and guides you, right? Because I have heard that many editors change the book, right? And then it's not good for the writer itself either.
Yeah. So I want to go to the first question about an editor who dives in. And I think also, I mean, there can be an editor, a really good editor, but if he's not able to talk to me on the same level, it doesn't help a lot, you know, because if I don't feel understood, that he doesn't understand what I mean, and he's not trying to tell me, he knows what to do and he tells me and I should do it like that, it's not a help. That's not a good editor for me, you know. It's uh, if there's someone who wants to get into a conversation and what we can talk about and the things, then yeah, of course. And what was the second thing you said?
No, I think this answered the question, and
Mm,
I think it's really interesting what we discussed right now. It's really helpful for my audience, for freelancers. So it's a different world, the writing world or the author's world, but at the same time, it's also similar to freelancing. And I think the audience can take a lot, or my audience can take a lot out of it. But is there maybe something else you want to tell us as freelancers, as solopreneurs? Is there something we should take care of? Something else you want to share with us?
well, I mean, I said what I said before already. That's really important to have this day off and really have this day off of social media too. And also in a conversation with people, if you're on if you have your smartphone by your side, it's not focusing on the other person. And I think that we all, and especially as as entrepreneurs, yeah, we have to learn this again and focus on it. And you know, I mean, there is this many people think if they're busy all the time and if they talk and they get free calls, and that shows how important they are. And but in the end, you don't remember anything of the conversation, and the other person feels like, okay, why did I spend time with him? So I think that we all, yeah, we had a. I mean, it was very new for all of us in the last 15 years that the smartphone came up, and I think now we have um, to learn how to handle it, and also how to handle it in our daily life, in our working life, and that we don't answer every email within seconds, and that disturbs. I mean, I can write if I mean, I do it also, and I have to tell me no. I just turn it off because I can write any sentence. If there's a WhatsApp message coming in, then there's another thing, then LinkedIn, then whatever. And so you're really distracted. And as a writer, you know really how important it is to focus, even it's 1 hour, and then you make a break maybe for 10 minutes to look what came in from all the other things, but to get into concentrate and don't be disturbed from all the things around. That's what I'm telling myself.
Great. Thank you very much, Junia Swan. That was very interesting. And thanks for sharing this from this, a little bit other world of Writer's Day. But I think it's very inspiring for my audience. And yeah, if you like it, if you want to meet more people like Junia Swan and also my other guests in my previous episodes, we always have interesting guests. And please subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you soon.